Welcome to Rap in Order, the interrogation of a hip-hop album, where we take some of the culture's most beloved hip-hop albums, put them on the stand, see if they stood the test of time. Now let's see who we got on the stand today. And welcome to another episode of Rap in Order. I'm First Class Regg.
And I'm Taurian B.
Today, we're getting into the second studio album from Project Pat that was released in 2001. Mista Don't Play, Everything's Workin. This album had production that was mostly handled by DJ Paul and Juicy J, who were like his cohorts and his go-tos.
Juicy J's his little brother, right?
Really?
Yeah, Project Pat and Juicy J are brothers.
How did I know that?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, I didn't know that. So yeah, it was released in 2001. The project debuted at number 4 on the Billboard 200. To me, this is like the go-to essential album for Project Pat. It fully encompasses everything that Project Pat is about. The hooks, the flow, the production, just overall a well-rounded project. Even back then, I've been a fan of Project Pat for a good while. Like his flow has always stood out to me. And the subject matter, everything, like he's remained solid and he just has transcended even up till today. Like he's been sampled by like a bunch of artists that are prominent today. What's your thoughts on this album?
This is an amazing album. I didn't realize how much I lived with this album. I was living in Atlanta at the time, so I moved to Atlanta in 2002 from Harlem, and Project Pat was being played like so much, and down there, like I was like thrown off because I'm like, well, this is Atlanta. Like I know it's the South, but like Project Pat was played like a lot, and like a lot of his songs had anthems. A lot of the hooks from his songs were used at Battle of the Bands. They were used during like basketball games and football games and stuff like that, like as just like chants or whatever. So like I just thought that was like really dope, and yeah, he was just amazing. And like Reg said, like his influence on like artists now, right? So I actually wrote down the list. Like, Don't Save Her is sampled by J. Cole's No Role Models and 21 Savage's AT&T. Chicken Head was sampled by Cardi B on the song Bacon Head. If You Ain't From the Hood is sampled by Regg's man Duke Deuce's Crunk Ain't Dead. Ooh Nothing is sampled by Moneybagg Yo for All That, and Young Dolph's Got Paid. And Cheese and Dope is sampled by Isaiah Rashad's R.I.P. Young. So, like, you know, like that influence right there, like, lets you know that, like, these artists, you know, they're around my age, in their early 30s. Like, also, minus Cardi B, she's still, like, a baby. She's not even 30 yet. But they were all influenced by these songs around the same time. And his music would play so much. And it's always, like, interesting to me because, like, obviously, like, 3 6 Mafia, right, like, is, like, this... like they're like this huge like phenomenon, and you know like they won the Oscar, they won Grammy Awards, and like Juicy J has like gone on to like work with like Miley Cyrus, and like he's closely affiliated with Wiz Khalifa. But like Project Pat, down to like his like recognizable flow, like obviously it kind of gets repetitive, but it's like he's mastered it. Like, you know, like when he just comes on, like it's your boy Project Pat. Like I just love that. I
love that shit. I think what stands out for Project Pat and why he's been able to be around, and in the same way with Juicy J, is that something just still feels fresh about it, regardless of the flow. Like I always say, Juicy J has been able to flip the same flow for over 20 years, and it never gets old. Like there's just certain artists that can just pull that off, and they're like the top 2 in that realm. They can just pull off literally the same flow. Different subjects, switch the subject around a little bit, but for the most part, it's the same type of party anthems, feel good shit, and it's this cornerstone of Memphis, and it always piques my interest. Like it makes me want to visit Memphis just to like take in that type of vibe and that style and that shit that they bring.
Yeah, and then it's also funny because when before I knew what 3 6 Mafia was, like I thought about like Elvis and like Memphis and stuff like that, right? And you think like, oh, okay, like country music, white people wearing boots and stuff like that, Smokey and the Bandit, shit like that. And then like you find out like, nah, it's the fucking hood in Memphis.
Yeah, yeah. And I think they do a good job of giving you like little previews of like what that's like, because there's so much to Memphis. Like you got on one end you got Project Pat, 3 6 Mafia, and then on the other end of things you got Justin Timberlake and Elvis Presley.
It's really a music city. It's a musical town.
Yeah,
and like they're just known for that.
But this album kicks off with a very big single for Project Pat, Chicken Head, which features 3 6 Mafia and LaChat. It's produced by Juicy J and DJ Paul.
Yeah, this song was like it owned the summer when it came out. You couldn't go nowhere and not hear this shit. The word chicken head was like already something that was like being popular, like popularly used at this time, but like it just took off. Like man, it just went everywhere. Like white people knew this song. Like you couldn't turn on the radio and like not hear this song.
Yeah, this was like at the height of gender wars in music. Yeah, so like. Even the whole argument between him and the girl, like she talking about how he ain't got no money, and he's like, "Girl, I had to buy some rims for the Cadillac." Like, and she's like, "You ride clean, but your gas tank is on E." Like, just the back and forth was really, really dope, and I think that's why this song has been able to stay around the way that it has too.
He told Shorty her breath was like some thunder.
Yeah,
what you talking about? I don't want your phone number. Yo, that song. Oh man, I love that shit.
Girl, you need some gum. Breath like some thunder.
I thought that shit was funny as hell.
Yeah, always a fun track, man. Classic song. And then it's followed by, a skit that's, kind of just leading into the next song, which is another big song, Cheese and Dope.
Yeah.
I got cheese, dope.
Yo.
Yeah.
Another one. This man knows how to make hooks and like make it sound good. That's another thing. Like, one thing that's like impressive, especially about Southern artists, is that because like they talk with like a kind of like twang, like when they say certain things, it just sounds better. Like he's saying like the most basic shit ever, right? But then like you realizing like, all right, yo, he's saying like he's really telling you like, listen, like I got money and I got dope and I'm about to make this shit work. I'm about to take over this area. Like so.
I got cheese, hoes, and a bunch of fucking dope. Like it's just I got peas, coke, and some killers at the dope. Like it just all fucking flows. It just all like flows well. Man, this Project Pat is a fucking genius. So Cheese and Dope is followed by Whole Lot of Weed. Whole Lot of Weed is like another staple 420 song that a lot of people don't talk about. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't even smoke like that, but like every time I hear this song, I really appreciate it. It's a monumental song for me.
And it's because he pretty much like he is kind of like Project Pat is kind of like the everyman in the sense of like, he's not making things like sound like, oh man, I can't be Project Pat. Like, no, he absolutely is just like the regular dude that that's down the block. He always coming outside with flip flops. He got a belly. He probably got a do-rag on or whatever like that if he got his waves on there or cornrows and shit like that. Like, you don't know how he get these pretty-ass girls that he got. He always got money.
But they love him.
Yeah, everybody respect him down the block. Like, that's just one of those things.
I would love to have a conversation with Project Pat.
Oh, man. He would have to rap, though. Like, his response would have to be raps. He couldn't just talk.
Yeah. He just seems like fun, like a know-it-all, like OG. Don't Save Her features Crunchy Black. Like, that just hit after hit on this album. You obviously get the premise of the song, and it's a classic. It's, let these hoes be hoes is basically the message of it. Like, just let them do what they doing. Yeah. And just appreciate them for what they doing. What you say?
I had a funny experience with this song. So I was young, and like I just moved down to Atlanta, and like I met this girl who I thought like liked me. Well, she did like me. But I thought she was my girlfriend. And then I found out that she wasn't my girlfriend, that she was a lot of people's girlfriends. And like when like I learned this, like I have like a group of friends down there, and like for like 2 weeks straight, every time I come to the lunchroom, don't save her. Oh, she don't want to be. Oh man, it was sickening.
She don't wanna be saved.
Yeah, like I thought like she was like my girl. And like it was like, nah, nigga, like you was supposed to sleep with her, like just get your first, your first licking since you just moved down here.
Mm-hmm.
You were supposed to like, and like she was a good looking girl. She wasn't
Mm-hmm.
ugly or anything like that, but like she was a promiscuous teenager.
Yeah, we had a girl like that on my block in Detroit that everybody felt that way about. And before I was like getting ready to like, I was coming into my own and I met this girl and I heard the stories about her later on and it's like, damn, like
shit.
It kind of that shit. It's like fuck, because you think it's something that is not, and it's just like, damn, all right, well, I got to detach.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what this song is, If you ain't from my hood, features DJ Paul and Juicy J.
Yo, and this was a big deal because well, I know you can relate. So in Atlanta they have zones and wards. So like anytime like at part like Little John and Eastside Boys are already doing this, right? Like saying like, fuck y'all clique, fuck them niggas from over there and shit like that. But this song was one of those songs that was put in a playlist. Like once you heard it, you realize like, all right, maybe it's time to go because niggas is about to start really getting crazy. And you want to leave before motherfuckers leave to get to their car and they start shooting outside and shit like that. So this was one of those songs that they played and it's just like you just knew like, all right, it must be time to go because after this song comes on, like B.I.B.I. is gonna come on, and then like I just knew it was time to go.
Damn, like songs that came on to like send a message
to rep your hood, like you know what I'm saying, like because like in Atlanta, like you guys got different area, like it was like Zone 6, Zone 3, 4th Ward, like you know what I'm saying, you being from like the South Side, you being from like North Atlanta, like being from all, and it would be confusing because I'd be like, but wait a second, like all right, we all from Zone 3, but this person from Trusted Tree and this person from Summerhill, so they don't get along, but they're both in Zone 3. So why the fuck is it like why is there an internal beef? We should be together.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I get that.
It's the equivalent of like saying like, yo, we both from the Bronx, but like, nah, like I'm from Mount Haven and you from these projects and we should be. And it's like, nah, we from the Bronx, we should be together.
Yeah, we should be together. We shouldn't be so intersectional like this. That's mad funny. Yeah, but yeah, that's basically what this song is. And then that takes us into Gorilla Pimp.
Son.
A little problematic.
It is. It's very problematic.
And also, sorry. So, if you ain't from my hood, and we talked, which we kind of preluded to earlier with Duke Deuce, which pretty much kind of encompasses his whole first single, Punk Ain't Dead, the whole style of it and everything, and keeps that energy pretty well, and just speaks to his influence, like we said.
He did an amazing job keeping that
energy. So Gorilla Pimp.
Gorilla Pimp. It's a problematic song. He's rapping about doing things to women that are not okay. And I'm pretty sure if you're talking to Project Pat now, he's like, yo, I was young, I was just making music. And another thing that is very prominent in Memphis is pimping. So I just think that, like he really leaned into it and like that's what he's rapping about. But I don't think Project Pat really be slapping up women and shit.
Yeah, I think it's just I don't think he be like listening to it is like it's crazy because it's like Project Pat has this knack for making everything sound fucking cool. So you'll be nodding your head to this shit till you like really listen to it like, oh shit. Like this is mad problematic. But like you said, it's all in entertainment. Break the Law 2001. Consistent feature from the Mafia. What you think of this one?
Break the Law 2001 was cool. It kind of like just like this song, like I kind of just like skip through it when I hear it. It's not like a standout. It's just a cool song. Like, all right, cool.
Yeah, same here. Like nothing to really write home about. It kind of just fits in the mode of this album, but it's not really a standout. I wouldn't say. That one is followed by So High.
Shout out to Lil Infamous R&B. This one was dope. I think that obviously. It's a double entendre, but I thought that it was pretty cool. Like it's one of those things where it's like this album hits so hard early that it's kind of like he has like album cuts that are dope, but it's like a come down.
Yeah.
It kind of like you kind of like come. I think it was smart though, because it's like, I mean, it definitely makes
you from the beginning.
It gets you from the beginning. Like if you hear this album from the beginning, like the way you used to buy albums before, like you go to like Sam Goody or something like that. You listen to the album. If you listen to the first 6 tracks, you buying this shit.
Yeah, exactly. And then that one is followed by like a skit that doesn't really, you don't really have much on it. But then it's followed by We Can Get Gangsta.
We Can Get Gangsta.
We back on track.
That's another song that lets you know it's time to leave the party.
Mm-hmm. We Can Get Gangsta. Bruh.
It's just like, it's certain, it's like some of these songs, like, you know how like religious people say like in hip hop, like there's certain songs where like the devil enters the room once that song comes on.
Yes,
this song is one of them.
This is definitely one of those songs. It tells you everything you need to know.
Yeah.
And I think it follows up with even with Ski Mask, and up until Ski Mask is when I realized too, like, I always, and I brought it up before, like about where the fuck is Crunchy Black. Because you don't really hear him, even when he was just 3 6 Mafia, you didn't really hear his raps like that. But when he's featured with Project Pat, it stands out.
Yeah, Crunchy Black is like somebody that like really like lives his raps, and like it's hilarious to me because like I know that like there's been times when like they've like gone places and like they were so embarrassed by him because he's such a hood dude and like he just be doing some of the wildest shit. Like I've watched like interviews where like he's told stories of how like he was on like the run. Mm-hmm. Like kind of like he was pretty much like the ODB of their crew.
Yeah.
Like he was like always in some shit, or like having like women like fighting over him and shit like that. Or like having multiple women, multiple cities, and like women just fighting and shit, and like him like coming out and like him and Juicy J getting into arguments about mad stuff. So like his energy when he brings it on the track, like I want to have this conversation, but like on another episode. Like Country Black is like the full package of Southern rappers caring about being real rather than actually being like lyrical.
The entertainment side, yeah.
Yeah, like they don't care about like the lyrics and shit like that. He's like, nigga, all this shit I rapped about, I really fucking do. Mm-hmm. And that like Country Black that's him all day.
And that's probably that was his downfall probably. Yeah. Because they, Juicy J and DJ Paul saw where they could take this shit. Mm-hmm. And Crunchy Black is like, yo, fuck that shit.
Is we really killing niggas or what?
Yeah, and that perfectly brings us into Life We Live, which features Naman Lumpkin and Edgar Fletcher. Mm-hmm. This song is a coming of age type story, telling you where Project Pat was before he got to where he is in rap, and it's a sad story, but unfortunately the beat fucking knocks.
The beat knocks. The beat knocks, and I think like this was like dope because it was kind of like him like expanding out of like what he was doing, so it's like showing his versatility. Mm-hmm. And I actually really appreciated that. And I was like, all right, cool, like boy, you know what I'm saying? Like it like he can tap into different parts and still like be him. Mm-hmm. So I was okay with that.
I fuck with that a lot. And typically on a song like that, the beat isn't like so good to where the beat is kind of stripped down with songs like this, with a message like this. But for this song, they did not hold back with this production. Mm-hmm. So I really appreciate that about it. Song is followed by Y'all Niggas Ain't No Killers, Y'all Niggas Some Hoes. That's the actual title of the song. It's produced by Juicy J and DJ Paul, and it's a fucking classic song.
This is the third song on this album that lets you know when it comes on at the party, it's time to go.
Y'all niggas ain't no killers. Y'all niggas some hoes. Man, what a fucking title.
Yo, bro.
And they're so good at those. They're so good at
they are good
like
at that, and it's crazy because it's like I remember one time I was at a party and a fight ensued because like rival niggas was at a party and the nigga got on the mic and said, "This is to them hoe ass, pussy ass, fourth ward niggas." Like, and it was just like, what?
Oh shit!
It's time to go.
That's like really like, damn. Like you say some shit like that.
And like, you know what I'm saying? Like we was kids, so like the fact that the DJ actually let him get on the mic and say that shit,
bro.
And like that, how you dedicate that song to your enemies? Like, yo, I dedicate this to y'all niggas, and like it was on after that. It was time to go.
That is fucking madness, bro.
Bro, that happened when I was in college. That didn't happen in Atlanta, but like that, I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and they also have a Fourth Ward in Jacksonville, Florida. Like I don't know why Fourth Ward gets so much beef, but that's what happens.
It is what it is.
Yeah, imagine that, like in college, and you got to run for your life because you don't want to have to call your mother and say, "Hey, I got into a shoot. Well, I got shot at. I ain't had no gun."
Yeah, or there was guns just popping off.
Yeah,
and I was in the area. That's a story that I never took to my mom, even though I was like around. I was around shootings and stuff like that happening, but I'm never about to tell my mom that shit. She wouldn't let me go outside ever.
even now.
Yeah, like ever. That's followed by Ooh Nothing, produced by DJ Paul and Juicy J, of course.
Right. So what I found out is that Ooh Nothing was so I didn't do my proper research, but Ooh Nothing was like a song that was popularized like earlier in the 90s, and like rappers incorporated that into like that saying into their songs because Mystical also used it.
Yeah.
So like that was like a thing, and I always thought that was like cool. I just like how it sounds, and you know, it's just funny because it's like it sounds like something like a comedian telling a punchline or something like that.
Yeah, I believe a comedian did use this. This was shit.
I mean, Chris Tucker use it in his Def Comedy Jam stand up. I know that. When his mom was knocking on the door, he was like, "I'm coming, mama."
Yeah.
And she was like, "Chris, what you doing in there?" Ooh, nothing. I think that's where it's from.
Damn, nah, there's another comedian that used that shit. Fuck. That shit is gonna kill me now.
See, look at me giving Chris Tucker credit.
I want to say it was Bernie Mac.
Probably right.
Yeah, I think it was Bernie Mac.
Well, Moneybagg Yo and Young Dolph also were inspired by this song. And example, they shout out to Young Dolph, R.I.P. It's fun. It's funny how like they were on opposing sides, but they both were influenced by Project Pat. Like that man's that guy,
bro. His level of influence is crazy. But that takes us into We Ain't Scared Ho.
Yo, bro, it's just like this is such like a poke your chest out album of just like masculinity, like just letting people know like I ain't no bitch.
I'm not a bitch. We ain't scared. We ain't scared, ho.
Yeah.
We ain't scared, ho.
I
like
just think that's just hilarious.
Like, bro, like the message is clear.
Yeah.
The message is fucking, and it's all like just literally surface level tough nigga rap.
Yeah.
I love that about it.
Yeah.
And I want to see it performed. I would love to see this performed. The energy that this will cause is crazy. And then We Ain't Scared Ho is followed up by Aggravated Robbery,
which was happening a lot down there at that time. You know, small town. Somebody come through shining, and you feel like they ain't strong, like tough enough to like keep that shit. They was getting fucking robbed.
This nigga robbed her for her number and her purse at the end of this song. Fucking crazy.
Yeah, he said her, y'all.
Yeah, her. And the beat used during the first 40 seconds of the song is sampled from Carlito's Way.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Ah, yes.
Yeah, and Aggravated Robbery takes us into North.
And I believe that's him talking about an area of Memphis where they're from. Like, I think so.
Yeah, let me see. I believe so. Yeah, it is. Yeah. So North is another like consistent one, and it's crazy that like this song is toward the end of the album, and mind you, 2001. I think a lot of people were just making really, really long ass albums. People didn't have any thought about like how people are consuming music because it was the early 2000s. So it's just like, yo, we just making hits just to make them. This shit, put all this shit on the album because we almost 20 songs in, and you have pretty much the same consistent flow and the same message across the board. But I feel like in 2022, it will be very conscious of like, all right, this shit too long. Make it like 14 out. Make it like 14 tracks. You get the same message.
You never know,
across.
man, because we getting so much. Like we getting deluxes. And
that's
all
also
shit.
true.
Like you never know, bro.
Yeah.
I just think that back then, like they were just doing this because Like he was like, man, I got too much fucking heat. Like I gotta just get this shit off. Like this shit is too fucking good.
Yeah, that's true too. And then North, followed by Fucking with the Best.
Now I thought that Fucking with the Best is a song that I really enjoy. Like that, I play that song. I play Fucking with the Best while I'm cleaning my house.
That's a good. I never tried that, but that's a good cleanup song.
Yo, bro, like
T Rock, Juicy J, Lord Infamous, Crunchy Black, and DJ Paul on this one.
Yeah, and it's just like them motherfuckers just pounding they chest talking they shit. And I just think it's like on some like victory lap shit. Like we are the champions. Like we the fucking best.
Yeah, pretty much. This is like what DJ Khaled would fucking love to encapsulate in all of his songs.
Of course he would.
And then, you know, it closes out with Mission Impossible with them just talking they shit. This is like a thank you note, but on a on record. But not really though. They just talking they shit about them just being the best.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the end of this album, Mr. Don't Play. What's your official rating?
Out of 5, this is one of those ones where it's really difficult for me, right? Because on one part, I fully understand like this album's importance, and I feel like I can say that this album's a classic, and I don't think like many people that understand like what Project Pat means would say that. But then I have to like be honest with myself, like my critical rapper reviewer brain. I'm like, all right, this album's 4 out of 5 waffles.
Okay. But
I do understand that regionally, like what this album means to Memphis, even come out of Hypnotized Minds. Like I might say that like of like, you know, his collective that this is the best project period. Like 3 6 Mafia albums period. Like, Lord, like I think so. Like I'm just saying from top to bottom. Like you gotta remember, 3 6 has like a lot of classic songs, and maybe we can revisit this. But like it's on like different projects, so it's like spread out, not as far as like their catalog of their best songs, right?
Yeah,
I think that this collection of music from Project Pat is probably like the best because everybody came together to help with this project. Yeah, I would be wrong though, but yeah,
I would agree with that. I just think I don't mind giving this album a classic rating. I could give it a classic rating based off the music on it and how it's aged, the influence. We talked about the influence and how it's so prevalent today. Project Pat just being one of the artists that helped spearhead a sound that a lot of artists still try to mimic and that they still go to him and honor him for. And that's still just coming back to this album in particular, and not just the artist, but this album. Like, you go on this album and you can see all these references that are made on it, and just naturally, like you listen, like you said, you were listening to this album and you were like, yo, yeah, I know this song, I know this record. And it's a very top-heavy album, but I very much appreciate the songs that are on here.
All right, so Regg is correct. I can't not call this album a classic. This album is a classic. Like I said, like the influence of artists that are coming out now still using it. It shows you the influence of them still being inspired by it. I take back everything I said, ladies and gentlemen. Fuck that 4 out of 5. It's 5 out of 5 waffles. I want to be able to go and visit Memphis. I want to go to Graceland. So yeah, like this is what it is. Like this album's a fucking classic. Like Project Pat put out something that is legendary, and I want to scream it at the fucking mountaintops. Yeah,
this is a Mr. Don't Play is a classic. It's a classic album. Memphis rap done right, from what I know of it. And I think everyone that's a rap fan should, you know, indulge in this album. Project Pata, great album. 5 out of 5 from the both of us. Definitely worth your listen, worth your time. I'm First Class Regg.
I'm Taurian B.
We out of here.
Catch you next time.
Peace.
These are their stories.
Dun dun.